Hi guys, Ray from Love Your RV and Boat. In this video I'm going to unbox this little diesel heater from BougeRV. They asked me if I wanted to review this little diesel heater, and I decided I would accept it, mainly because we're going to be wintering on Vancouver Island this year, and I wanted to use it as a heat source for heating the underneath the rig skirting area. I thought it'd be ideal for that. It also would be handy on our boat in the shoulder seasons when it gets a little cool in the mornings and evenings. It could augment the existing propane heater we have. Anyway, this video will unbox it and test it out, and then I'll come back later after using it a while and give you a review of its performance. So it comes in a box, not very big. It's supposed to be only, I think, around 20 pounds, this heater. See what we got in here. Manual. There's the heater itself. It looks like there's another box full of gear. So we'll pull everything apart and show you what's included. Okay, here we go. Here's the unit itself. It's actually quite compact and lightweight. Looks like it's got stainless steel all around it. Stainless steel handles. Metal front and black. Here's your control pad. Some adjusters on each side. And I guess that's an LCD display. This looks like the exhaust port, I imagine. And then there's the voltage port, 12 volt or 24 volt. Little XT60 connector on it. On the top we have the fuel. Takes 5 liters, I believe. Spin her around. Oh yeah, that looks like the exhaust heat port there. So it says thermal power 5 kilowatts, working voltage 12, working current 5 to 6 amps, 12 amps when ignited, starting power 150 watts, operating power 10 to 60 watts. Operation noise less than 70 dB. And she's got some rubber feet on the bottom. I guess at some point I'll probably disassemble this and have a look inside. But we'll do our testing first. Well, here, this looks like the exhaust port here. We've got this exhaust pipe. Must connect to there, and then there's a little muffler. Here's the hose for the heat, and I guess this goes on the end. Manuals and a little fob, and also see there's one manual for an app, so it also has a smartphone app. A little bag with hose clamps and connections and screws, and then there's 3 ways to power it. There's AC power here, goes from AC to 12 volt at 15 amps max. We've also got DC power here with a cigarette lighter socket, and also it can hook straight up to a battery. So put that stuff together and we'll fill it up and see if we can fire it up. Okay, so I've attached the exhaust pipe. It's simply screwed into there. It's got a flexible pipe here that you can change the position of, and then the muffler also has a little hose clamp and attaches there. The heating pipe clamps here with a hose clamp, and then a hose clamp also holds the grill there for the output. I think I'll try the AC power first. So we'll just plug it in here. I've filled up the tank with diesel. There we go. Now it says I'm supposed to, I think, push this button. There we go. Turns on with time. It's a little hard to see in this bright light. Okay. That display is very hard to see outside. So right there's one drawback. Fan's turned on here. I think it's showing me the voltage and the heating, but yeah, it's pretty hard to see. Okay, thankfully it has an app, which makes it a little easier to deal with. You don't have to use that screen. It sounds like it is going through a boot up phase right now. It says booting up about 1 to 5 minutes. I can hear something clicking. Imagine that's probably the fuel pump priming everything. Showing me current voltage 12.2 volts, combustion efficiency 22%, and I have it set for the max kilowatt output of 5. And I can hear that fan is starting to go faster. Let's see if anything's coming out the blower. Yeah, it's starting to blow. Not hot yet. Let's see if anything's coming out the exhaust. Not really. But everything is starting to speed up, so. It's showing it's drawing about 123 watts there. It's starting to make a little bit of a different noise. Yeah, we got some hot air coming out of the exhaust. Getting a little warmer there. 85% efficiency now. Varying there. Not too much exhaust noise. Definitely still in the startup process. As the app says, when that is displayed, it's all kind of gold and not flashing, then it's the startup process is complete. So I'll just let it go and come back when it's finished. Okay, there we go. We got a solid here, and it also 97%, 99% combustion efficiency, 12.6 volts, and she's drawing around 57 watts, so it's reached its operating state. Some good hot air coming out of the muffler there. You listen to the fan noise. Let's check the air. Oh yeah, it's blowing pretty good hot air out of there. You notice a little animation going there. Also, I checked the remote, and it can adjust the levels and turn it on and off. Down here we have timing configuration, so you can set it for a timer so it comes on the hours you need heat. And we got like an instruction thing here, tell you how to use it. It's been running a while, so I'm just going to take some temperature measurements here, see what we got right on the output. Looks like around maxing out about 174 Fahrenheit there. You see the hose heat. I'll come around and check the exhaust. Right up by the muffler there. 240 something Fahrenheit. the oven. You definitely don't want to touch it down there or put this anywhere near anything combustible. Okay, let's just try a shutdown here and just turn off. See what she does. On the app, it's flashing here. You can hear everything winding down. So some initial reactions and takeaways here. Seems pretty easy to operate, quite intuitive. Does put out pretty good heat. A couple things that could be a problem though. That display is not very bright at all. I'm going to come back in the evening when the sun's gone down and we'll have a look at that display. Doesn't draw too much power once it's running, you know, around 60 watts, so not too bad. Doesn't really smell bad or anything. I don't really notice any diesel or fuel smell or anything like that. One major drawback that I'm coming across is this thing can't really be used in the rain or snow. I asked them, you know, is this waterproof? They said no, it must be used inside, and then also this has to be outside. So that can be a problem. You know, it's fine if it's really nice weather. You can have it outside and feeding in to, say, your tent or your rig. But if you think you're going to install this inside and just have that out, just have a note that they said no, this must not be installed indoors. And then you've got this heating thing to deal with that gets quite hot, so you have to be very careful about that and where you place that. So I'm thinking if I'm going to use it for heating under the rig and the skirting, I might have to build a little kind of shelter for this outside to keep the weather off it, and then run the heating hose under my skirting. But we'll come across that bridge when we get to it. And you know, it's fairly loud. It's probably about the same loudness of an RV water heater when it's running full out. But of course it may vary as well if you're not doing max heating. I'll kind of have to look at that and see if I turn down the amount of heating that it has. Maybe the fan will run less loud and everything. Anyway, let me come back when it gets a little darker and we'll have a closer look at that control panel there. Couple extra pieces in here. I guess this is for mounting the exhaust somewhere. It'll fit on the end of the muffler. I'll give you a couple different types of screws, wood screws and the metal screws. There seems to be like an extra hose clamp there. A couple other things I noticed with the DC wiring here. This is your typical 12-volt power socket, you know, cigarette lighter type adapter, and I noticed on it, it says 150 watt ignition power requirement. So it says minimum 12 volt, 12.5 amp DC input. Standard cigarette or light socket maximum 10 amp may cause ignition failure. So yeah, a lot of things you find on power stations and things have a 10 amp max, and it's saying it needs 12.5 amps. So this may be not work with a lot of devices that you would think it would work with. Also, these things often aren't built for that much amperage. Usually sustained amperage, so that's really only on startup, but that could be a problem. Also, this one that is designed to hook straight to a battery. That would work fine, but they didn't fuse it at all, so they gave you the little hookups, but there's no fuse for the wiring to protect the wiring. Another kind of flaw, they should have actually a proper fuse on that red wire. Just a couple small things to consider. Just a quick noise test here. Just using an app on my phone. It's saying around 85 decibels right here. Let's move it to the other side. 80 decibel. And where it comes out. It's showing around 80 decibels, so it's a little higher than what they quote. So I've turned it down to 2,000 kilowatts, and definitely a little bit quieter and drawing a lot less wattage, down to 18.7 watts. So yeah, if you don't need the max heat, the fan slows down and the power draw slows down, and it gets a little bit quieter. You can see down, we're down in the kind of mid to high 70s dB now. Okay, the sun's gone down. It's a little darker now, so we can have a look at this display. Just hold it like that. It's supposed to turn on. You can see it's still not super bright. And it's turning on now. Let's see here, air blower. So it goes through these icons as it starts up. It gives you a voltage readout and a wattage. I just have on the low setting right now. And it also has the time. Let's give you a little bit look at it from far away. Yeah, so I guess it's fine at night, which a lot of people would be using it when they're camping for overnight period. But like I say, in the day it's completely washed out and hard to see. But it does have the app and the remote control. Yeah, you can see there's another icon showing here for ignition electrode. And then we've got fuel pump and heater core. It's also sort of a weird installation here. It kind of goes through there. There's a grommet there, and it clips in up here. I'm not sure if it is supposed to pull out further, but I don't want to force it. I'll figure it out when I yeah, it's kind of a strange arrangement here with this wire that just kind of pulls out of there. Not sure about that. It'd be nice if they just kind of flush mounted a pad there. Well, you can see now we have the fuel pump going and the electrode starting to heat up. You can hear the fuel pump pumping the diesel. And very tiny writing here. You can also see the fuel efficiency. Just turn it off again. And then it does its cool down. So there you go. That's sort of the unboxing and kind of a look at it and a quick test. Future video I have planned, maybe I'll take it apart and we'll see the innards of it, see what kind of quality they are and how it works. And then another video where I'm going to use it in the skirting. And we'll do more of a longer term review of this. So next time, Ray from BougeRV and Boat. Cheers, everyone.